Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. Come on with it.
And we're back with another episode of the Fold Podcast, man. It's your brother Khalid Salam. Make sure you go follow me on IG at your brother Khalid. I'm in here with the rest of the guys. Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Cheer. Millie, one in it, man. Back in the building, man. Back with the brothers on this peaceful Sunday, man. How everybody doing?
For social, man. Party Artie, of course. I'm glad to be back with my bros, man. Been missing the podcast. We got a lot to talk about today.
Big Kirk, we back in the building, back on the fold, man. Ready to have a great conversation with the guys. It's been a little minute. What, it's been about 3 weeks? A month? Somewhere along there?
That sound about right.
Well, yeah, that's 30 days, man.
Yeah.
A lot can happen in 30 days, huh?
For sure.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So, if y'all want to start with current events, we can. What y'all want to start with, the less serious shit or the more serious?
I mean, whatever you want to talk about, bro. You know,
Let's ease into it. All right, so let's start in the valley. Let's start low.
Hey, look, man. Khalid want to take off everything and jump right in the pool. That boy want to go skinny dipping ASAP. He's like, hello, man. God dang. Go ahead. What you got?
So first thing, I don't know if y'all seen the clip or not, but Snoop Dogg is facing some backlash for his experience. He was watching a kids movie with his grandkids, and they had like a LGBT kissing scene in the movie. And he's been facing backlash about it. I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts, seeing as how, art's working with the youth, everybody got kids, so what's y'all's thoughts? Do y'all think they should have LGBT scenes in movies at all, or
I say, man, listen,
look,
I think.
Hold on, bro.
Before we start,
No. Look, if we gonna talk about it, let's just talk about it. You just gotta stand 10 toes. At the end of the day, you either gonna be hated or you gonna be liked. You're not gonna make everybody happy.
For sure.
It just is what it is. We're not gonna be politically correct. It's a sensitive topic, bro.
For
it
sure.
is what it
definitely
is. And just say your piece, bro. You know what I mean? Just say your piece.
Go ahead, Millie.
Nah, I was gonna say, man. Nowadays, I think they doing that gender neutral type of thing to make the other people comfortable. Even though we all people at the end of the day, but I think with the kids you shouldn't, because you're forecasting something on them that they have yet to understand, and they're seeing it, in a cartoon, and kids are inspired by cartoons.
Yeah.
So little Billy up the block, hanging with Rick, and they see that movie together, and they think that's how they should act together if they want to react to the movie. Right. So I think they should not have that in movies, but that's my opinion.
My thing is this, right? So people used to say, like, comes to rap music, because we listen to it, that's why there's so many murders and shootings, all type of stuff, because of rap music, because of video games. But the same thing with that. So if kids see that, they're going to emulate that. I'm watching Power Rangers. I'm kind of trying to go outside and be the Black Ranger outside and try to mimic that they doing. So they're seeing, 2 girls, 2 guys, because okay, that must be okay. So let me go ahead and give it a try. I don't want them to be watching these shows and be inspired by LGBTQ, because it's like when we was coming up, that's some stuff that you didn't see on TV at all. You know what I mean? It's like you got to go sneak and find that type of stuff, if that was something, of course, that you're into. But I don't think it should be publicized to children. Allow them to make that decision when they have the right mindset to know the responsibility that comes with being part of that community. Don't put it out in books. I don't want it in cartoons, TV shows, all that. I understand. I'm cool. I know people in that community, and we're all good and great, but I don't think it should be for children. That's just my opinion.
Likewise.
Now, I feel the exact same way. I grew up in a way where, like, it was frowned upon to like the same sex. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't know people that I've grown up with that we always knew.
Right, yeah.
And I can't say as an adult if it's appropriate for those kids to feel a certain type of way, because I've talked to people that are part of the LGBT community, and I was like, so what made you like that? I always ask the question, like, what made you like the same sex? And a lot of people just was like, bro, it's the same way, like, coming out and you liking girls. Like, I just always had a thing for either a woman or another man.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm married to, I'm a heterosexual male. I don't have anything against anybody that's a part of the LGBT community. I just don't want my kids seeing that, because now I feel like you said, we're forcing them into this box that they have to feel like they have to be a part of something that they really don't know what's going on.
Right.
Because it's kind of, to me, it takes away I feel like it takes away their innocence.
Their
as
innocence,
kids,
absolutely.
as kids, because that's even like for me. Like I don't like when my son hug his friends, and it's nothing. I'm not. What word am I looking for? I'm not homophobic. Yeah, I'm not homophobic at all. I just was, as a man, I was just always taught like to dap up. You know what I mean? Or if I do get one of my bros a hug, it's one of them, I ain't seen you in years type of hug, or we done broke the ice with the clap first. And it's like,
That's the type of hug I'm on too.
Yeah. Like, and it's just like, or if you did something really amazing, and then you know what I'm saying, we hug up, but we always make sure we was to the side so we don't bump in the front. You feel me? Because that's awkward.
I see you blowing the whistle. Technical.
Yeah, bro. But
He run out the door. Listen, he on the stove. He see it out the window about to occur. He goes throw the apron off, run out the door.
I mean, but they don't know, man. I mean, like I just my son, like they kids. Like my son, my daughter, like they just love being kids, and I think it's a thing where it's just some things. I don't know why it's so big, because like I really don't give a damn what you like at this point. Like long as it's not affecting me, you feel me. But at the same time, like when it's the same thing. Like if you look at, I don't know if y'all seen where this one school had a drag queen come in and they were teaching the little kids how to twerk.
Whoa, what? I know that much.
No, she was teaching them how to.
Shit, I know that shit.
You seen that? Have y'all seen that video?
I haven't seen it.
No, bro, it's a real video.
Crazy.
They was having drag queens come in and they was teaching these little kids how to twerk.
Actually, I do think I seen that.
Yeah.
Fire alarm instantly. Get them out the building.
But, I mean,
Get immediately.
but I just don't understand why they try to force certain things on kids, man. I'm big for protecting the innocent.
It's an agenda, because we gotta think too, when their kids coming up, those in the LGBT community, they're coming up and they're learning stuff, but then they see a man and a woman on TV. Like, does that confuse their child? You know,
I don't know. That's
I was like, at the same time, so they might face the same challenges or have the same opinion as we do, because at the same time they're teaching their kid one way, they looking at life one way, and then we looking at it another way. But like I say, isolate that from the kid cartoons altogether. Shouldn't nothing intimate be brought into a cartoon? That's supposed to be laughter, joy, play, sharing, and things like that. And
I agree with that, man. That's kind of what I was going to say as well. I don't feel like there should be any kind of intimate scenes in children's movies or TV shows in general, especially when a lot of these movies and films are marketed towards kids in a certain age range. It would be different if it was like, older teenagers or something along those lines, because they're already starting to learn about sexual education in school and things of that nature. So it's kind of already on the radar for them. But when you're implementing this in these children's shows at such an early age, not only is it the issue of the LGBT influence on the children, but wouldn't you think that would make kids want to start trying these things at an earlier age?
Oh, for sure.
So if we're going to put, standards on consent, age for consent and all these things, but we're influencing the children to start doing things where they're at an age that they couldn't consent anyway. It's just confusing all around, bro. And I do think there is an agenda to it. We don't got to deep dive into all of that, you know what I'm saying, into the controversy, but man, I just thought it was crazy, because they gave Snoop a lot of backlash, and he didn't even say anything negative. I'll post a clip in post so people can watch exactly what it was, but he didn't even say anything crazy. He was just more like, I just didn't know how to explain it, because his grandkids were asking him, about, I think it might have been a boy and a boy kissing, or a girl and a girl, whatever, and they were asking like questions about it, and he didn't really know how to answer, and he was just getting backlash for saying, I don't know what to say. So this world is just getting crazier and crazier by the day, bro. And
that can be right there just as a learning tool. That little scene actually sparked the interest of a child to ask questions regarding that issue, so that lets you know why it's better to have it removed than answer.
Well, you also got to think about it too. Like you think about what your kids see on the daily of a man and a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like when my kids go home, like they see their mom and dad hugging and kissing. They don't see anything of me, of when any of my homeboys or her homegirls coming to the crib and we hugging and kissing on them, and they like, that's awkward. Like, what's going on? So now you're clouding their mind with something that they can't even explain. Because I can't tell you a cartoon or anything that I've ever seen growing up as a kid in the 90s, in the early 2000s, that had anything to do with anything with same sex, anything in it. You know, it was always. They were always this cool. Ed and Eddie, Hey Arnold. Like, yeah, you would show the girl having a crush or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it'll make it, funny or cool. But even those kids who was like, Fairly Odd Parents, Timmy had a mom and a dad. And, you never really saw them doing nothing wild, like overly kissing or having any sexual intercourse or anything like that on the show. So it's, for me, I'm like, well, I think it's a time and place for certain things, bro. Like when you get to middle school, when everybody's in middle school and everybody's all hot in the pants and shit.
Yeah, hormones is going crazy.
Everybody's horny and you try to tuck them in the waistband or try to not get up in the middle of the class.
Yeah, so my thing is this, man. It's like, just going back to Snoop Dogg, it feels like, yes, we have the freedom of speech, but it seems like it's all that comes up with a consequence after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's just speaking on his behalf on a public platform, knowing there's other people that think that way, but I just feel like with social media and him being a celebrity, he's just a big ass target and bullseye. It just feels like, well, he's a celebrity, just all this hate at him, but he's still a person. At the end of the day, he's a grandparent. And if you're seeing this stuff on TV, it's like when I'm coming up, I'm watching all the old cartoons, and mostly it's like, like Pepe Le Pew and the Skunk, because like, it's male and female, let's just over sexualize, but I wouldn't even want to have, heterosexual stuff happen on cartoons. They don't need to know that's like, okay, they got the same sex stuff and heterosexual stuff. Okay, now they're 6, 7 years old, and I'm all here, touch on these girls and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's all, at the end of the day, man, we'll make sure that kids are getting education first and foremost, and of course, parents try to control what their children do watch, but not with their children all the time. So that's how I kind of learned and discovered certain things. But I know I'm inside my household, my parents can control that. And with Snoop, he thought he was watching something that was nice and clean for his kids, and all of a sudden, got same-sex people kissing. So there's something, with Snoop Dogg I understand, but like I said before, that freedom of speech is a right, but it also comes with a consequence.
But I'm gonna tell you this anyway, shit. My kids don't. I keep a parental block on what they watch. I don't even like my kids watching YouTube where people are acting like characters and shit. That shit is weird to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or they taking the stuffies and they're trying to get them to fight, and it's like, bro. I mean, it's a ton of views. I don't see what's entertaining about it. It's like my kids like to sit there and watch people play with toys sometime, but what I noticed too, man, my daughter started acting out like some of that shit she was watching on YouTube, and so we had to counsel it. It was like, yo, where are you learning this from? Like, we do not conduct ourselves like that. It's not that we think we bigger or better than anybody else, but it's just a certain way you got to carry yourself in public. Yeah, and you acting crazy as hell because you don't watch one of them YouTube videos is gonna get you an ass whooping. A good one too.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Hey, man, we could be here talking about that.
Yeah, because we want to go into it so bad. I hate when he do this, bro.
Because it's just.
Go ahead, let it out, Khalid.
I feel like first and foremost, bro, as parents, like y'all said, set the parental controls for your children. So many people get their kids the iPad, they give them the phone, they hop on YouTube. They're not even aware of what their kids are watching or listening to. I just had my cousin, she's big into like those Korean boy bands, like K-pop.
K-pop.
Yeah. So they got this new cartoon like musical thing called K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but it's like if all the young kids are watching it. But my brother, I would say he's a Christian. He has a young daughter. She's 3. And she's been listening to it crazy. And I was dropping her off at my grandma's house the other day, and she wanted to listen to it. So I turned it on or whatever. And the song is about like worshiping idols. One of the songs on there, I guess they're supposed to be hunting these demons and killing these demons. But if you listen to it, it's all like devilish sayings and statements in the song. But they make it sound good. They make it sound, you know what I'm saying? She knows all the words. She's singing it. She's not even aware of what she's saying. And so as a person who's religious, whether you're Muslim or Christian or whatever, you got to pay attention to these type of things and just explain stuff to your kids at an earlier age, because if they're marketing these ideas and concepts to kids who are in that 3, 4, 5 year age range, it's upon us to teach them early. You know, we can't wait until they're 9, 10, 11 years old to start talking about things. The way our parents raised us is just not suitable in this generation, bro.
Well, because
technology's too advanced.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's nothing censored no more, bro. Like we have to start, like we explain to a 3-year-old like he damn 15, 16, bro. They got so much access. Like even the stuff like TikTok. Like my son has been on TikTok probably since he was probably in the 5th grade. And the stuff that sometimes he comes and asks me and talk about, bro. I'm like, bro, where you learn that? Bro, I saw that on TikTok. What? Like how you? Like, it's just the access now, man. I think the parental control. See, a lot of people don't want to parent though, bro. So they hand the kids a damn iPad and let them search up whatever, and then next thing you know, they raising themselves. Now, when we raised ourselves outside. Yeah, you was outside. We was shooting hoops, riding bikes. I mean, everybody, you know, we was chasing girls and stuff like that. But bro, we never had to worry about seeing a whole bunch of drug infested activity, a whole bunch of gang violence, a whole bunch of people like, bro. People getting shot on the internet like on the daily. People celebrating this shit. Like, bro, there's some sick stuff out here right now, dog.
Crazy.
It was sick. I mean, sick. I just never thought that the world would have this. You would have this much access to, just to see everything. Just everything.
Yeah. Moving on. I'll kind of brush through these next couple current events pretty quick. We had talked about this in the Instagram group chat, I think, but the Department of Defense has had a name change back to the Department of War. It was first seen by George Washington in 1789. Trump said in an executive order, the name Department of War, more than the current Department of Defense, ensures peace through strength as it demonstrates our ability and willingness to fight and win wars on behalf of our nation at a moment's notice, not just to defend. This name sharpens the department's focus on our own national interests and our adversaries' focus on our willingness and ability to wage war to secure what is ours. I have therefore determined that this department shall once again be known as the Department of War, and the Secretary should be known as the Secretary of War. So I didn't know if y'all had any thoughts on that, but if not, we can brush past it. You know what I'm saying?
That boy Khalid be in the current events, bro. I'd be lost in my own little ass world.
I was just trying to mix it up on the show, bro.
No, you good.
I would just say that boy Trump is a crazy man. He different, bro. You know.
He really do show us that presidents really do have the power and will to do what they want to do. They just don't do it. They tell us they're gonna do this and that. It don't show up, but Trump,
it show up in plenty other ways.
Trump though, he's showing us that when you really in that seat, in that position, you really a shot caller. Like he ain't in there being a puppet on the string.
Is he really calling the shots, or is he really a puppet?
He's a
so who's driving the media?
Who's driving the media?
Yeah, I mean, because propaganda's been around for a long time. Because we can really get into some stuff, but as far as some what we call ourselves conspiracy theorists.
I'm saying how Trump think and act. You feel me? It ain't, his behaviors ain't new. This ain't out the norm. This is him before he is the president. You know. And the thing is, so I'm like, it's just kind of, he always been the blunt guy that he is, and he blunt as hell. So I'm like, I don't know. It's hard to question, man. But I know some of the things though. They definitely probably forcing his hand.
I don't necessarily like people be so up in arms about Trump. I just think he's more of the same of what we've already seen. Right. He just, on the red side versus the blue side, he does things a little more blunt. Like you said, everybody else is kind of making these decisions behind closed doors. Like if they changed the department to the Department of War under the Biden administration, we probably wouldn't even have heard about it. It wouldn't have really been a news story. They want to make Trump out to be this bad guy, even though he's just doing the same thing that they've all been doing. I just think it's interesting because Trump talked so much about ending wars, and now we're going to the Department of War, and the only thing that we really have our hands in that has to do with war is what's going on in Gaza, like we were just talking about before the show started. So, you asked the question of, is he a puppet or is he really calling the shots? I think he's a puppet just like the rest of them are. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's certain people, certain a specific group of people that's really calling the shots, and I don't think the American citizens are really like privy, like just like things going on in Gaza. Like we heard about the attacks on October 7th, and now it's something everybody's been talking about. I've been a Muslim almost 10 years. There has not been, in my entire 10 years of being a Muslim, we haven't talked about what's going on in Gaza at the mosque. So it's been going on for a long time. They've been sniping children, killing children, blowing people up, killing innocent men, women, and children for years now, but more people are becoming privy to it now. But I would say it's that same group of people that's killing them that's running America right now, though, too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to mess up anybody's bag, you know what I'm saying, on the show by us talking about these things.
Nah, bro, I just mind my own business.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna hold you.
Hey, look, when it comes to certain current events, bro, it's just like
I'm good.
I don't have enough money to even talk to people about this.
And I don't want the stress and the burden of seeing that type of stuff anyway, because we know all news shows lead with who got murdered, who got killed every single time it comes on TV.
Yeah, bro.
So you know what? If I'm the type of guy, okay, if it hits my doorstep or my community, okay, I'm locked in.
For sure.
But when it comes to stuff that really doesn't impact me or my money or my family, hold it down. I'm good.
I mean, but certain stuff do from the top down. It does, because I've known, like, even they talked about when Trump had cut. What did he cut? That extra help from, what's it, like people with disabilities?
Yeah, they cut down the food stamps.
Yeah,
too.
they cut down on that now.
Yeah,
we started talking about that. I know some families, some friends and family that have those that's had those struggles.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, okay, should you really be mad at Trump for cutting it, or should I be mad at you for not getting your ass up to go get it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's the handouts there too, and it's like, okay, I'll take the shit. You might as well take the free handout. Who wouldn't? I mean,
right.
I mean, you get up, you pay all these taxes, you don't know where your money going and shit anyway. So shit, if you can get some free shit, get it. I mean, but everything comes with a cost.
Absolutely.
So you just don't never know when you're under somebody's thumb like that. You just don't never know when you're gonna be able to handle the situation. Either you put it on your own hands, or you put your life in somebody else's hand. But I'm like, Art, man, a lot of that stuff, bro. It's so much stuff, you end up down a rabbit hole and you'll never know the truth.
Yeah.
And it's cool to talk about. It's like, okay, I just got my opinion. I let it off. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we could sit here and talk about it. But we'll end up down a rabbit hole, which is cool, but it's still gonna finish with a loose end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I just would say to the I guess the American people that would be listening, bro, just go and do your research on what's really going on. We get so I say we get manipulated really by the media time and time again. We think that Trump is the enemy. We think Biden's the enemy, Kamala, or this politician, that politician. If you would just sit down and take a little bit of time to read and see who's really calling the shots around America, you would see it's a common theme. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the more they can manipulate us into thinking somebody's the enemy, it's easier for them to really pull strings behind our backs. And so that's all I would say on that, man. The last current event that I had was Charlie Kirk. Obviously, he got assassinated, killed, whatever, however people want to paint it. If y'all have any thoughts on that. Otherwise, we could get in there.
Yeah, man, we can get into the show, but before we get into the show, bro, that's another thing that's crazy, that my kids can realize, watch that shit on their phone, bro. Huh?
Right like after it happened, like
bro,
instantly.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Charlie Kirk, I've seen a few of his clips. I don't agree with everything. Some of the stuff that he did say that I've seen was, some of it is some good stuff. It's just his delivery, as people will say. But sometimes people don't have good delivery. Did you get the message?
Right.
Did you receive the message? Because even when I talk, some days it's not going to be perfect. We're not going to deliver the message perfectly, or I said it the way it should have been said. Like sometimes, bro, you get stuff off your chest, and it is what it's going to be. And you might offend some people, but did you get the message? That's what. That's where I'm at,
Yeah, I didn't really know who he was until he actually passed away. So I kind of had to do some research as well. But my thing is, it's just the divide and the basically the divide on social media. You know what I mean? It kind of shows where people stand in regards to his message and those who were opposed. And I think it just brought a lot of hate to that. Like at the end of the day, you could, you know, not like a guy, but he still lost his life and he shouldn't have. You know what I mean? I think he's probably fulfilling in what he believed what his purpose was in regards to what he wants to do. You know what I mean? This guy left behind a wife and kids. So I kind of see it as that portion. But shout out to him. Like I said before, I didn't know who he was until he passed away. But at the end of the day, I don't think his life was worth it. And also in terms of the impact on social media and how that kind of stirred a divide in the country as well.
Yeah. I kind of, just to piggyback off of what Art was saying, I agree with that. I think his death was, I guess, like the start of a bigger divide than we already have in the country. I would just say to black people, man, because I see a lot of black people celebrating his death, and I understand that some of the things he said could come off as offensive. I would just say we have to learn to not invest so much emotion in situations that really don't have nothing to do with us.
Come on,
because
Come on, hey, talk to him, man.
He got killed by a white man, and it had nothing to do with him being a so-called racist. So I feel like by us inserting ourselves in the conversation, we see that they had HBCUs on shutdown, getting threats, and I think some guys even went to a HBCU, I think in Tennessee, I believe.
I seen that.
I seen that too. They had shut down 6 schools.
You know, so it's like we need to learn when to insert our emotions into a conversation and when we shouldn't, because by us being silent, we would have forced their hand to have a conversation about white on white crime instead of now it being him being a racist, and now these extreme white folks is threatening black people and things of that nature, bro. You know, let them have a conversation about what it is, because it don't got nothing to do with us. He didn't die for being a racist. At the end of the day, it wasn't one of us that took his life. So you know what I'm saying? Just let them. You know, we don't have to insert ourselves in everything, bro. And stop being so emotional about shit, bro. White people, I'm not gonna just say white people. It's gonna be racist people in this world, bro. I don't personally think he was a racist, but I could see why people would say that. You can't change it. And I did a vlog and I was talking about how, you know, if you listen to anything he talked about pertaining to black people, he would always bring like statistics or, you know, dates and things of that nature to try to prove his point. And we're coming to the conversation arguing about emotion. It's just like we talk about police brutality all the time, and black people will argue, you know, how, you know, we just get it so bad by the police, and then the first thing they do is bring out the numbers. It's more white people killed by police than black people every year, which is a fact. So they'll try to say it can't be a thing against black people. It's just you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly.
Publicized.
You know, even though as black people, you know, if you grow up, especially in the inner city, when the police get behind you, it's a feeling that you have in your heart when they get behind you and hit them lights.
You ain't gotta be in no inner city, bro. Any goddamn well, shit.
The suburbs is worse for me.
You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah.
You know, you can't try to argue facts, data, and statistics with emotion. You're never going to convince them that your position is the correct position ever. So why even insert yourself in the conversation? Why not just focus on what we can do to change our reality and change our circumstances instead of trying to convince them, bro? I'm not about to sit here and try to prove to no white man my experience as a black man, bro. I feel like that is just so beneath us as black people, bro. And it bothers me seeing black people do that, bro. Like it's like y'all talk about, you know, white racism and this, that, and the third, but y'all willingly put y'all's neck on the floor for them to put their boot on.
Come on, man.
I just don't understand that, bro. And y'all think y'all got this high ground, or y'all think y'all are doing something by saying, oh, he deserved to die on social media. But we done seen a black kid lose his whole, he got kicked out of his school for trying to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk. Was that worth it?
No,
that was
absolutely not.
Dumb.
It ain't nothing to celebrate, man. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's one thing that people gotta understand. You know, we came up on the sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And the thing is that we react to words more than physical altercations. You feel me? Words is provoking so many people, and y'all, they jumping on, like I said, being spectators, jumping on social media, getting in the comment bars, making videos and stuff about something that doesn't even impact your life on a day-to-day. What he doing is what he's doing, and it has no influence on your life. It's not messing with your money. It's not messing with your health. It's not messing with your benefits. It's not messing with your kids in school and education. He's just going around having debates. That ain't nothing to lose your life over.
Just a small comment. Hey, bro, he was I mean, the way you look at it, he's an activist.
Yeah.
But what was he really trying to do? Now we'll never know. You know what I'm saying?
Part.
We'll never know, because to me, he's what, 30 something?
Yeah, he was 31.
Yeah, he's 31, bro. So bro was young. So I mean, like, we would never know what everybody says. Oh, well, he's, we're trying to start a lot of controversy. But some of these topics, some of the stuff that he was saying, bro, we need to really need to talk about.
Yeah.
I think we should all study up and
study up and really come back and talk about it.
For sure. Charlie Kirk,
Man, come on, Big Art, man. All right, Big Art always got the book, man, the Bible on the table, man.
I'm gonna talk to Kirk. Maybe
No, that's the last one.
Khalid, he gonna lead them current events.
They brought
something to add into the show. You know what I'm saying? Give it a different twist.
They brought the dragon out his nest, though.
That's what I'm saying.
I like that.
Just open.
I hate that, bro. It's just like, bro, we got too much to focus on and be worried about some people that ain't us.
Financial literacy, you feel me? Education, man. Health.
Hey, but look, I do want to say something about that cop shit, though. I think, but this goes back to people believe what they see and not what they hear. And subconsciously, for us, as black men in America, when you see certain shit on TV, like people, like, when you see the guy walking down the street and you see a white guy harassing him, or the time the people was in the back streets of Georgia and he shot that one kid, or you just see those incidents online, bro. I don't care how much you be like, oh no, that don't affect me, bro. Subconsciously, it does. Because even when I'm around too many cops, bro, I get hella nervous.
Absolutely.
Bro, I got friends that are cops. And I know them, I'm cool, but like, bro, when I get around cops I don't know, bro, I literally sit there and stare at them. And they be looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And it's just like, I'm real live in a shock that I can't explain. Like, if a cop gets behind me, bro, I start sweating, bro. My heart starts racing.
No, you doing everything right.
I ain't doing nothing wrong, bro.
Sitting two, seatbelt on, lights on, blinkers.
Hey, look,
it's like, dog. For me, like, now that I live a straight life, man. I be speeding past them, babe. Like, babe, it's a cop. I said, so I got license. I got license, bro. I'm telling you, I'm like, they ain't gonna bother me because they like, he gotta have everything correct and nothing to worry about. If he driving past me on the freeway, or he on his cell phone, I'm like, only thing they gonna give me a ticket. I be cool now. I think since I don't have that anxiety no more. I used to have it, like when I was moving around. I had that anxiety at cop. Anything, boy, I was dropped to my stomach. I'm like,
shit. Hey, bro, it could be broad daylight, and I could pull into a gas station to get gas. If it's a cop on the other side, bro, I literally would go to the pump the furthest away from.
Listen,
because this is like, bro, I don't know what you're doing, bro. Are you running my tags? Are you looking at me like?
It used to be bad for me though. Like I'm putting on some Michael Jackson. I'm singing like, if they went around my hands moving, it's because I'm saying. They put me over. I'm like, man, I'm listening to this Michael Jackson, man.
Crazy.
Hey, man, I kind of agree with Millie. You know what I'm saying? On it doesn't affect me, but to Kirk's point, I mean, you see it in the media so much. If you're not able to kind of turn that off and not focus on the news when those stories pop up as much, it will kind of creep into your brain a little bit, like this is what it is. And when in reality, you ask the average everyday black person, they probably never really had a poor experience with a cop. Maybe he might have a little bit of an attitude or something like that, but if you ain't never seen somebody really get killed by the police in real life or had a negative experience with a cop for real, then you got to start asking yourself, why do I feel so negatively towards police, other than it just being programming?
Yeah, it's just
programming. For sure. But it's true though. I mean, because I did have a negative experience at Easton, but it didn't. I was a kid. We getting kicked out. The cop took me. He said it. I'm like, I should drive you somewhere and beat you. And you feel me? Drop you out the car.
Damn.
Like, boom. So I'm thinking this is it. I'm like, this is it. You hear me? I remember the car was X3. It was up there, older cop. At the car, the license plate on it said X3. I remember it like it was yesterday. They took me out the movie theater. Boom. And that's the first thing he said to me, man. Once I was in that cop car, and I was like, man, this is it. Like, I don't know where. I'm like, this is it. But nah, that was the only encounter. But how far, discrimination when they just pull you over because you got dreads or, you in the old school and stuff like that. And the first time they walk up to your car, they're like, is there drugs and guns in the car? And I'm like, what? I'm like,
I bought a blunt for the both of us, so you can calm down to me.
So I got two things with that one. So number one, when it comes to the black people being impacted by it, say we're watching Family Feud or a game show, and you see a black family on there, we're cheering for the black family, right?
Yeah, for sure.
If you see like a, you know what I mean? So you see like so I was watching like a cornhole tournament, all bunch of white folks, you got that one black person in there.
But we always cheer for
like, they gonna hold it down for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but then when you see with police brutality and you see that black person being affected, impacted, that's me being affected and impacted as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like, if it can happen to him, it can probably happen to me too.
Facts.
So that's kind of my mindset when it comes to that. And then secondly, in terms of not passing down that anxiety to the next generation, I have cops come in and talk to my kids as mentorship classes, and I ask the cops, what do you guys expect from these young black men when they're pulled over? Instead of me telling them my experiences, what to do, get it straight from the horse's mouth. A lot of the cops tell them it's like when they approach them, it's like, it's not, I'm trying to make your life fearful. Like, I'm fearful for my life as well when I approach these vehicles. So we expect this whole, went through like a list of like 12 things that they should do. And it's like, we got to prepare them for that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So the first time you get pulled over, it's like, you're not panicking, you're not frantic, you know what I mean? But at least we're letting these young guys know what to do in those situations so they're prepared for it.
Yeah.
That's dope. One of my things I did, when I was helping with the FirstNet when they first set it up, is like going to police stations and fire stations and stuff. I ended up building relationships with police, getting to know names, faces. So then that's one reason too. It's like when some people, you get to throw those names out there, and then they kind of ease up because like, oh, Kevin Richardson, or Michael and when they know some people, then they're not as aggressors or anything like that. Yeah, they're more neutral,
right,
because they know that if something was to occur, you got a point of contact. You got somebody. So I was like, get to know those that work in your community. You do know them, it kind of it show a token of good faith. You feel me?
For sure.
Sense.
That's good.
Yeah. So, y'all want to put a pin on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good, man.
I had a question because I know we wanted to start with recapping what we talked about 2 episodes ago.
Yes, sir.
And I actually had a question. I want all y'all's answer, but it kind of stemmed from something Kirk had said. We were talking about depression and suicide and things, and you said that you had went through an identity crisis. So I wanted to get, everybody's advice they would give to people who are dealing with an identity crisis. And if you wanted to kind of touch on what you think led to that for yourself, so people can kind of learn some lessons from your story. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's important because we talk a lot about purpose and now kind of understanding identity as well. I think, will help some people who are listening. So what advice would y'all give to people who are trying to find their identity or who feel like they're going through that identity crisis?
I think a lot of people identify by what they do and not who they are. And I'm just saying that because I am going through an identity crisis, man. Like, you just don't grow up and you achieve what you achieved at such an early age, bro. Like, I don't think people understand when I tell them I started off being a celebrity at the age of like 14, 15 years old. Off of 3 football games, bro. I had an offer to the University of West Virginia, bro. I only played 3 games. I played 3 playoff games as a freshman in high school, and after that, my life changed. And it was like I had schools out the ass calling. Like, it wasn't nowhere I couldn't go. I was number 2 player in the country. And so getting there so young, when we go back to the black community, everybody's excited, but nobody has no like guidance or mentorship on what the hell is really happening.
Yeah.
Everybody's just hyped, like, oh yeah, we're going to church, everybody's, everything's just flowing. And but you really don't realize, bro, you really don't got no foundation. You're not really ready for what's really about to occur, in your life. So, man, I was just for the longest, I was just like, man, I'm just a football player, man. Like, I'm smart. I can do different jobs. I can do this. I make a lot of things happen in life.
Yeah.
But I'm just a football player. Because I was protected in such a small world, man. You know, like, never had to worry about food. Never had to worry about my clothes being washed. Never had to worry about being, you know, not getting the assistance I needed if I was hurt. You know, so once you, in a way, you kind of babied. I ain't gonna even lie. Like when you're an athlete, bro, you're babied. Everything is you're protected by everything. Now, unless you're a knucklehead. You're a knucklehead, then you know, like anything else in life, it's gonna be taken away from you.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing for me in realizing who I am now, I think the biggest thing that hurts and why I had such an identity crisis is because the people that I thought that I knew that was going to have, I thought they would have my back for a lifetime or a certain amount of time, or be able to point me in the right direction to help me because of the things that I've accomplished. When I had that jersey on, now that door is shut. Nobody wants to talk to you, so now you feel like you feel lame, you feel like a loner, and then you realize nobody really talks to you, not unless it can benefit them. Not unless y'all are real live homies. But when you're trying to get onto a platform where you're trying to go sit with like a Steve Harvey or a Ryan Clark or those type of people, those type of names, to actually learn from them, it's 10 times harder when you're trying to come from the bottom with no name compared to you with you having a name with a jersey and they identifying you by what you do, not who you really are.
Yeah.
Like, because let's be honest, like nobody really wants to go like, why do you want to go sit down with like, let's say, a Muhammad Ali? Right? Because if he wasn't Muhammad Ali and you didn't know he was a boxer or he was really pushing his activists the way he would, you wouldn't want to go talk to, bro.
It's the title.
It's the title. That's exactly. So the title brings certain things that either A, you're ready for, or B, you're not ready for.
Yeah.
And so I had played football for 20 years, 19 years, and I had always been known as the football player. And when it came time to get a regular job, people would tell me, like, you're not qualified. You play sports. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like that I'm probably smarter than majority of the people that you've hired. You tell me where you can learn a 200-page playbook, no help. And I was a middle linebacker, so I was a coach of the defense. Pretty much. Like, the coach would give me a headset in my helmet. I would have to get a call. It doesn't matter if I practiced this call. It doesn't matter if I went through this call with my coach or not. I was expected to learn this on my own if I needed this job. So that means it's one of me and 10 other people that I'm responsible for, but knowing what they have to do and where I have to line up, where I have to fit. I have to know the down and distance, what is coming from the other side, and I have to do all this within 4 to 6 seconds before somebody hits me.
Right.
And you trying to tell me I'm not smart? Oh, I can't do the job. I'm pretty much overly qualified. You should be paying me more because I've been in high stress situations and I have to make a decision within 3 to 5 seconds on how we're going to execute to continue to stop this team or to score on this team.
Right.
So, you know, even now I have a big identity crisis sometimes just due to this damn cell phone, bro. You looking at everybody else and it's like, bro, why not? Why isn't my time? Like, what's happening? Like, why can't I get ahead? And essentially, you are getting ahead, bro. It's just
at your own pace.
It's at your own pace. Like, if I'm 500 pounds today, I'm not gonna be down 155 tomorrow.
Right.
And that was the hardest thing because at being an athlete, you're always expected to progress every day. You have to get better every day, and you will see it. You will see it, like in the gym. You know what I mean? But now, what I'm learning to do. Especially on I call it like on my little sabbatical, I'm learning how to really dive in and control the controllables. And the stuff that I can't control, I have to figure out how to set that to the side and handle that at a later time.
Yeah.
And so what I'm learning now is I'm using the gifts that I've been given to go do what I need to do, because a lot of times too, when we go through these identity crises, it be because one, we not getting our way. 2, our money get messed up, or 3, the other people that we're dealing with aren't complying or see the vision that we have, or the last one is all of the above.
Or I was gonna say 4 is not being taught. You'll fail in life. You can not fail in life, but what failure is, and that is okay sometimes,
right? For
because Little League football, for instance, all they doing is pushing them to win. Yeah. So when the kids lose, they feel like they ain't doing good enough for that. But you gotta understand that you're having fun. You're gonna win sometimes. You're gonna lose sometimes. You gotta still have that winner spirit, you know.
And the running spirit come from, like, when you look at these elite teams. We're gonna bring it up. That comes from the people that you're around. So if you don't want to lose, don't go hang out with bums. Okay, let's take the Patriots run. Anybody, when Tom Brady won those 6 Super Bowls at the Patriots, no, he won 5 at the Patriots. And
he won 6. The Patriots won with Tampa Bay. You're right.
So he got 7?
He got 7 total.
Oh, he got 7. My bad. Okay, so 7. He's 6 with the Patriots.
Yeah.
And 1 with the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
And then if you look at the head coach, Bill Belichick, right? The brain, the nucleus of the situation, everybody that he put around him was winners.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to lose, bro, it's impossible for you to lose if you're around. You might lose a little bit, but it's impossible to be consecutive, whatever the word is, consecutively lose being around winners, bro. And I think, like I said, a lot of times too, like, my identity crisis started coming from grief too, not unpacking the stuff when it happened, settling in, like, understanding how I developed dad issues and realizing I was really jealous of a lot of people that had dads because I want my dad back. You know, certain family members, bro, certain stuff from people that you looked up to in your life that you thought had your best interest and let you down. All that shit creates an identity crisis, bro. And then I had to realize, bro, I'm Mr. Make It Happen. That's just what it is. Like I tell you on, like, the first episode, you're a dog. And sometimes us being overachievers, it really hurts us a lot because we don't really have too many people to talk to, like, to really get advice from, because we're overachieving. Like, a lot of people not going to stay up 18 hours to make sure something happens. They're like, oh, shit, I'm stopping in the middle of the day. I got tomorrow. Like, nah. Right. Most overachievers, I'm trying to get everything I can do today done. So tomorrow, if something happens that needs to be, I need to be attentive to, I can go be attentive to that.
Right.
But I would say, if you are going through identity crisis, first of all, take a moment, pause, step back, right? And I say that just to slow your world down, because a lot of times we get in our head and we get in this daggone phone and we start comparing and not realizing what gifts do I really have to take me to the next level or put me into room with those people. Yeah. And then we start doing a lot of stuff, you know, we start doing stuff out of ordinary. Some people might start smoking, drinking, partying more, spending a lot more money because we can't understand what we're going through at that moment. I think the first thing you need to do is just stop, relax, understand, and see where you are at first. Like, just go through your list. Do I have this? Do I have that? Do I have all my needs met first? Then figure out where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. It might take 6 months to a year to really figure it out. Like, one thing I realized that I have a problem with authority.
Same.
Yeah. Like, for instance, I do not like going to my regular 9 to 5 feeling like I know more than those people that are at the job, but they're trying to treat me like I'm less than, and that I don't know. Right. But this person is making this type of money, but I know I could do their job 10 times better than what they're doing, but I got to stay over here because I haven't built those relationships with inside the company to get to the person that I really need to be with. But then also I realized too, I've been an independent contractor my whole life, bro. Football, I've been jumping from team to team. Like, when you're in the league, you're an independent contractor, bro. If you don't work in your body in the off season and work on, that's on you. That ain't on the head coach no more. Yeah. You're treated as an adult. You're an independent contractor. So take a step back, see where you are, and put together your plan, man. Like, writing your plan down is, bro, one of the best things you can do. And make it simple. They tell you that in the Bible. Write down your plan, pray over it, and just make it simple. Like, don't make it so complex. Like, okay, at 6:45, I got to tie my shoe with my left hand. No. Just write it down and understand the strategy. You need a plan, and then you need to have a system as far as a strategy of how you're going to execute. And sometimes, bro, you can't plan for certain things because you just don't know what's going to happen. You just got to be able to build yourself up enough that when something does come your way, whether it's good or bad, that you can accept it and move forward so it's not slowing down your progress.
Gotcha.
Shoot, my take is with people is they gotta really understand who you truly are. You know, that's important. And that, like you saying, don't go out here comparing yourself, because when you start to compare yourself, you lose sight of who you are, because you're envisioning yourself being this individual here, and that's not good, because that's how you're going to end up clashing, you know, especially when you put these higher expectations on yourself and you're not exceeding them. You know? So I tell people, really learn yourself. You know, knowledge of oneself is one of the greatest knowledges that you can have to maneuver through life better for yourself and in a peaceful mindset, and, you know, a purposeful one too, like actions wise. So, because we all go through it, you know, out of high school, you're not really doing nothing. You seen everybody else starting to get their life together. You go through that, you know, that midlife crisis, like, man, I'm still here, and they there, you know. Some people married, some people got, you know, good jobs, and, you know, I'm still over here fumbling the bag. I'm still in my mama's basement, so I just...
Well, that also could come from, bro, you just not knowing, bro. We talk about that all the time. Like, bro, some people are set up a certain way because their family, their parents. Like, your first mentorship is with your parents.
I like that.
Bro, your first mentor is your parents.
Yeah.
And if your parents are not getting it, especially for kids, bro, you got to also think too now. Like, kids, bro, I got 3 babies, bro, and it's nowhere in the hell you're going to tell me that those kids don't pay attention. Like, everybody kids pays attention to their parents, because they're your first superheroes. But what happens is, when you feel like you're not getting what you need, like anybody else, and kids do it all the time, same thing. If my kids don't feel like they get what they needed from us, they go to their aunties, they go to their grandma, grandpa, they're asking somebody else. But then us as people, we get into this thing where we don't need nobody. I'm quick to say that. I don't need nobody, bro. I'm finna go do X, Y, Z. But when I'm with the right people, shit, I done watch my life change tremendously compared to it. Bad. Damn, I should have just did it by myself. But nah, you wouldn't be where you were if, when I made a lot of money in the truck industry, I was around 3 other guys that were making the same type of money or better. And I just happened to be the young bull in the group. And when I'm asking them their numbers and I tell them my numbers, they're like, "You did what?" I'm like, "Yeah, we did that." They was like, "Bro, that's dope. That's your first year? You did it in your first year?" I'm like, "Yeah, we did it." And but that came from the mentorship of that circle, where I was in a circle full of winners. So when we did kind of take an L, it won't like no big L. It was just like, all right, let me just flip this so that can work this way instead of it running like this today, because these are new obstacles in this path today.
And I went to church today, you know, and that ended up being considered divine partnerships. You feel me? It's like the Bible structured things about own relations. You feel me? It's talk about, you know, Adam shouldn't be alone. You know, gave him a woman. So it's like relations is important. You can't do or get to where you want to be alone. That journey is definitely not the same, and that's what that is. Divine partnerships. That's what Pastor called it today.
So in that regard, man, you truly have to surround yourself with greatness, and I feel that everybody up here, I'm surrounded by that. And also, when it comes to the identity crisis, it's like we have many roles to find our identity. You know what I mean? As you know, some of us as husbands, and some of us as sons, and some of us as co-workers, as friends, as mentors, all those type of things. It's like I have to find my identity in all of those situations, right? So I know I have, you know, strength in terms of my marriage, in terms of me as a man, but I have identity crisis in terms of like some of the rooms I'm in with my job. You know, I'm a Jamaican. I have 100 jobs. You know what I mean? I do a lot, you know what I mean? So I'm still trying to find my identity there. But I know where my strengths are. And when I have those certain weaknesses or opportunities, I make sure I surround myself with those who are strong in that field so I can learn from them. So I always just tell my mentees, just make sure you're never the smartest person in the room. You know what I mean? And put pride away. When you need help, say you need help. You know what I mean? Because I learned early you can't do stuff by yourself, man. When I try to do stuff by myself, man, I was living in the car for 4 months. You know what I mean? So and I had to put that pride aside and like, you know what? I need help. I need somewhere to stay. It's just like that help. Then things started moving for me, right? And also when it comes to, you know, planning things out, and what makes it legitimate is writing it down. You know what I mean? That's why I always have all these composition books and writing all this type of stuff down, because I know in my thoughts, I can forget 100 things I thought today in an hour. You know what I mean? But as long as I have a pen and paper, bro, and I write it down, this makes everything legitimate. Like I got stuff in here from 4 years ago. I can go back and reflect. Have I grown from this? or am I still the same? You know what I mean? So I always make sure I'm around people that are evolving and doing positive things for themselves and their community. Okay, I want to be around people like that. But I feel that you're stagnant and you're cool with life and being consistent, being a C average, I can't kick it with you. You know what I mean? Because everybody I'm around with is an image of me. You know what I mean? That reflects on my life as well, man. So I always want to be around winners. I want to be around phenomenal people. And I continue doing that because it's going to make me an even better person down the line.
For sure.
Dropping that, I definitely, y'all coming to Rue Weekend next year. You feel me? That's Rue Weekend. Rue.
Y'all seen that? Wasn't wasn't a Wallow in them here?
Rich off options.
Yes,
Yeah, so it's rich off options, and it ain't just necessary based on the stock market. It's rich off options of doing what I want to do in life. You feel me? So being able to do whatever you want to do, you got the option to do it. You know, living life with no regrets. But I was like, you know, to have my brothers there next year, I think it'd be, you know, big for everybody because there's so much game and so much insight, and there's so much, you know, of us in that room to network and build with, you know.
For sure.
So I was like, next year, man, I don't care, you know. I'm gonna make sure I got y'all's tickets. Y'all just gotta make sure y'all show up. That's it. We locked in.
I like going. I think now, man, reading, doing a lot more self-help, and just trying to self-help books are a lot, especially when you're in an identity crisis, man. And sometimes you don't need to do shit, honestly. You just go outside and walk and enjoy the peacefulness.
Fresh air.
Take your shoes, take your socks off.
Bro, I'm just man, what?
Yes.
And so what I've been doing a lot lately is, as y'all know, I started the mental health journey in June. I just been outside, man. I've really just been enjoying outside, and I've been realizing that just the peace of nature, like going to Hoover, just listening to the wind blow, feeling the breeze, because. Watching the water move back and forth, man. Just being thankful for that moment. And then a lot of that stuff, man, is it's so self-soothing. By the time the stuff that you were worried about, bro, it's not even that serious anymore.
Make sure next time you up there, hug a tree.
It's gonna hug me back.
Yeah, they say it do something to you, man. I was at the workout session. It's like, man, what is it doing? I said they say hug a tree. You hear me?
That's crazy.
Hey, man, somebody gonna think you fried. I'm sorry, man.
For sure.
Yeah, man. I think the identity conversation is such an interesting conversation to me, and when you had said it in I think it was 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
When you had said it, I was like, damn, I wish we had more time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the process of writing a book. I've been writing this book for probably about a year and a half now.
Damn, boy. How many pages you on? Because I started writing my book, I only got the page to it. I thought it was done.
You know, it's crazy because, you know, you start and you'll put some things down and you'll go back and be like, man, I could do that better. You know, or I could convey that better. But the book is called The 3-Question Theory. And I talk about understanding creation, purpose, and identity. So when you said going through that identity crisis as it pertains to like depression and suicide, I was like, man, that's a really interesting thing, because I don't think I've ever, not to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever told you exactly what my book was about. So for you to kind of say it from your own experience, you know what I'm saying?
It's pretty dope.
I think I'm on the right track with what I'm doing because of that.
Sure. But people fail to realize, bro, like I tell people as you get older too, not to cut you off, every 5 years, bro, you're going to go through, like, I feel like every 5 years, bro, for me, I go through a damn identity crisis. Like, who am I?
Yeah.
And it started at 25. Like, when I tore my ACL, bro, I was sitting on the couch and I'm like, bro, who am I? Like, what is going on? Like,
we all got that moment, bro.
Like, what am I about to do now? Like, I literally tore my ACL. I was on my way to get ready to probably sign a new deal, maybe for a little bit more money, because I've got film out. Maybe stay with the Giants, maybe go to a different team. Who knows? I had already written out what I wanted to do and made my vision plain, you know. Then that happened, and then, you know, got in the trucking game, and then that happened, and dump trucks, semi trucks, juice bar, husband, like, bro, it's like you always gonna go through something.
Always.
Especially on the mental side. And you have to find something too, man, that you really enjoy doing too, man.
Yes, need balance.
Don't matter how much it costs. That's what brings you joy.
Yes, joy and peace, bro.
Peace.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, I think, because so in the book I break down, you know, creation, you know, and that conversation is basically, you know, is there a God? Is there not a God? If there is a God, who is God? You know, how does God describe himself? What are the attributes of God, right? You know, if you're not a religious person, how do you even approach that conversation of understanding, is there a God? Is there not a God? Et cetera, et cetera. You know, then I kind of go into purpose and understanding what your purpose is. We've talked about this on several podcasts at this point, so I think most people probably kind of understand my opinion on it. But I think, you know, understanding your purpose, you kind of have to understand who God is, if there is a God or if there's not, because your purpose is why you exist. And if you don't, you know, if we just happen to randomly be here, then yeah, everybody can go and pick whatever purpose they want. But if something created us deliberately with intention, then that would kind of tie into why we exist in the first place, right? So I think understanding that is important. And then your identity is going to center around what you believe your purpose is. It's just like, you know, you started off saying, you know, a lot of people identify themselves by what they do. And it's important to understand purpose in order to understand your identity, because if you have this idea in your mind that your purpose is one thing, and then something happens to where you can no longer achieve that purpose, of course you're going to go through an identity crisis. You know what I'm saying? It's just, who wouldn't? You know, that will happen to all of us.
Yeah.
And so the conversation around identity is just a super interesting conversation to me. You know, so my advice to people would be, let's not skip the steps. Like, people need to really figure out, what do you believe about God? This ain't something that could just be left up in the air like, okay, maybe God is this, maybe God is that, maybe he cares about this, maybe he cares about that. You need to really pinpoint, is there a God? Is there not a God? If it is, who is God? You need to understand that, because like I said, understanding why you were created is going to stem from that. And then you need to really understand what your purpose is. We can't be jumping around from this to that to this to that. These are goals. That's why I always make the distinction between purpose and goals. You could have whatever goal you want to have. That is upon you as a human being. God gave us the free will to choose the things we want to go out and enjoy. That's perfectly fine. But that is different from why you exist. Those are two completely different conversations. And until people can really understand that and get that through their head, I think we will always go through these identity crises. We will always fall into depression and anxiety and not really knowing what it is we want to do in life, because we just jumping all over the place at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And it takes me back to a time like when I was coming up. I grew up in gang culture. I talked about this on the podcast before, you know what I'm saying? And I remember I had to switch schools in the middle of the school year in like 7th grade. And so all my life I grew up around people who thought like me, moved like me, wore the same colors that I wear, you know what I'm saying? And then I started going to like a predominantly white school. And I remember there's this dude, I would say his name, but I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And he was claiming like he was from a gang, and he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knew he wasn't, but he was trying to act tough. And I remember kind of confronting him in the hallway about it, because it just was such a big part of my life. I felt offended by him claiming something that I've had a lot of loss behind. And I asked him where he was from, and basically, long story short, the area he gave, it wasn't like a rough neighborhood. It was the suburbs pretty much, you know what I'm saying? But I went home and I thought about it, bro, and I was like, man, you got somebody who's playing like he is a part of something that we're really a part of, but he gets to go home and take off that costume, and we keep it on. But we had the same opportunity to take it off just like him. We're the ones who are perpetuating this idea, these concepts of this is what it means to be a man, or this is what it means to be tough or great, or, you know, rich, or whatever the case may be. And we begin to identify ourselves with this. And by him answering that, it kind of shook me a little bit. And I started to go through a little bit of an identity crisis at that time, because now I need to reinvent myself and become something bigger, something better. You know, my standards need to change. And I dealt with that for a while until converting to Islam, you know, because all of those three things I talked about, creation, purpose, identity, is clearly defined. It's not all up in the air. It's not a whole lot of room for debate. And some people will say, well, you know, is that controlling, or is that, you know, but it's like, as human beings, we need things to be purely defined for us, clearly defined. Otherwise, we're going to be spending too much time trying to figure things out. We don't know everything. We only know as much as we can based off of our experiences. And unless somebody's going to clearly define right and wrong and what we need to be doing in life, we're going to waste our lives trying to figure things out that we really shouldn't even have to focus that much time, effort, and energy into.
You're looking for a blueprint.
Exactly.
You're looking
You know
for
what
a
I'm saying?
blueprint.
And we can lean on each other to the best of our abilities. We can read the self-help books, but at the end of the day, all we're doing is trying someone else's blueprint who doesn't know everything.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you know, look out for the 3-question theory. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'll be able to answer some of them questions for y'all,
Yes,
God
sir.
willing. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I just think this is a very interesting topic, because I think most people do suffer with identity crisis and not knowing their purpose. And we talked about suicide in the last couple episodes and what it leads to, and how do we kind of balance that out. I think knocking out the answers to those 3 questions will really benefit people far more than they know, bro. Because we gonna hit some rough times, bro. We gonna hit some times where you need that compass to guide you in the right direction, bro. And if you don't have it, bro, if you don't have that answer when you need it, boy, it's easy to take your own life, bro. I'm telling you, you just get so overwhelmed with life, bro. And being somebody who's been there, I think we all kind of touched on it, you know what I'm saying? I just don't wish that for anybody, bro. But we need to really take some of these things serious. Like, God is like a fairy tale thing to people. It's like, just one day I'll figure it out, and if I don't, then it don't matter. But bro, it's central to your life, bro. No matter if you want to be a Muslim or Christian or this or that, you need to figure out what the truth is, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I want to ask you something, bro.
Yes,
You're
sir.
talking about suicide. I know we talked about it. What was it, about 2 episodes ago, and I know we never really got a chance to really deep dive and really break down your situation with your identity crisis, as far as being a husband
Yeah.
and a father. But you told us that you had drove to a park,
Yo.
and you went to a park. You had your gun with you. You were sitting in the back, and usually this park never had any people back there.
Yeah, for sure.
And you said this time that they did have the people there, and obviously we know why the people was there, because obviously we know it wasn't your time. But talk to us about your identity crisis of, like, the feeling of how you got to that point, and what made you what made you try to go through and fight again to make the things right for you, your significant other, and your daughter. Because, you know, you being a father is damn near special to a little. It's little boys or something, but having a daughter, bro, and being her first man in her life is totally different than having your first son. You know what I'm saying? It's like your son turned into like your little homie, but your daughter is never going to be like your little homie.
Yeah.
You're always going to be her first support. No matter, you know what I mean? You're going to be her. It's going to sound weird, but you're her first man.
Yeah.
Yeah, real talk.
So can you take us through that, and like how? Because we wanted to touch on it the last time, but I just wanted to bring it full circle since we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
And I got a story about suicide too, but we're gonna talk to Brother Khalid though.
Yeah. I think the first thing I would say to people is just try to control the situations you go through at the time. Don't let it build up too much. Now, sometimes that's gonna be out of your control. You know what I'm saying? But the more, I guess, proactive, I guess it would be the right word.
Yeah,
the more proactive that you are on dealing with issues as they come, the better you will be at not, I guess, becoming too overwhelmed with the things that you're going through. I think I allowed myself to become too overwhelmed with some of the things that I was going through, financial things, issues with my wife, you know, being a new father, you know, not growing up with a strong father figure, you know what I'm saying? You're figuring all these things out. Everything just came at one time, you know what I'm saying? And some of those things I probably could have fixed earlier, but a lot of it, honestly, bro, it's just the first time in my life where all of this just came. Most of my life, I've knocked most things out pretty easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's the first time in my life that I've really had that level of struggle, I guess. All of those things coming at one time. So going into that day, you know, I told the story on the last podcast, you know what I'm saying? So I'll kind of skip through that. But I think that it's just like how you just pointed out, you know, you go to the park, there's all these people. It's not normally all these people. These are kind of signs to a person, if you know what signs to look out for. But again, if you don't have an understanding of the purpose of life and all of these things, those signs, you just brush right past them. It's just another day. You'll be too focused on what you're feeling in the moment to be aware of what's going on around you. When I was recording like on the voice memos on my phone, and I was just, like I said, kind of like, you know, like a modern day suicide note, I guess, if you will. I wasn't writing it down. I was just talking into the phone, and I started to picture my daughter, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm trying to articulate to her what I'm going through, why I feel what I feel, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it kind of dawned on me, bro, like, before my daughter was born, my wife was pregnant before we lost a child, like 6 months in. I think it's about like a week after my birthday we found out. And it got me to, you know, I was just in that moment, as I'm picturing my daughter, I'm like, man, imagine if God didn't bless me with a daughter. Like, imagine if we just lost our daughter and then I got to this point with no daughter and I'm not picturing her face. Would I have backed off of that ledge? You know what I'm saying? Or would I just gone through with it? Because before I started talking to my daughter in this voice note, bro, I was dead set on taking my life, bro. It was just, that was that. You know what I'm saying? So you start to picture those little signs, you know, you start to pick up on those things. And you start to calm yourself down. But again, like I say, understanding purpose, bro, you're going to go through some depressed times. Everybody is. It don't matter what religion you fall under or not being religious. It's stories of the prophets having depression, right? And it's always connected to, I guess, like an absence of God in their life. You know what I'm saying? And I think I wasn't leaning into God enough as I was going through those struggles. I was too busy trying to focus on fixing those things on my own as a man, because I'm so used to doing things on my own. Like I got a great family, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like I talked about, I was molested as a child. That I think creates a certain complex in you when you feel like you weren't protected by the people that were supposed to protect you. So I've always kind of felt like, I don't want to say the black sheep of the family. That's probably not really the accurate representation or you know what I'm saying, accurate. I just felt like I'm just the one to protect myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any older siblings. I'm the oldest. You know what I'm saying? All my cousins that I came up around, I'm the oldest. And so you go through something like that, and the people you think should protect you, the adults, you know, they're not protecting you. They're not aware, or whatever the case may be. You know, so all the things I've accomplished in my life, for the most part, I've set my goals and I've gone out and achieved them. You know what I'm saying? As men, especially, like, you know, we talk about overachievers. Sometimes you got to know when you need to really lean into God. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, bro, it's some of those things I could have controlled, but it's a lot of things that they just all came at once, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just, and it's not to make an excuse for it. It's just the reality. It happens sometimes in life. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, just being able to reflect on that in that moment and kind of snap out of being dedicated and dead set on making a permanent decision for temporary things. I guess that would just be the lesson I would try to get people to really understand who may be going through it, bro. Because, yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I wasn't a Muslim, bro. I I don't think I'd really be having this conversation with y'all brothers for real, bro. Like, because I wouldn't have picked up on those signs, bro. I wouldn't have been able to think, damn, I just lost just lost a daughter before, like less than a year before having a daughter, and now I'm picturing my daughter in this moment. What are the odds of that? That's not something I could have chose. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I don't got the answer to all of it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Still times I sit and I think like, damn, what the hell was you thinking? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I still think about that sometimes, but it happens to people, bro. You get so overwhelmed. You want to press that button, bro. You just want to end it and just be done with it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would just, yeah, my advice to people: control what you can control when you can, and you know, the things that you can't control, that's where the prayer comes in. You know, you asked me on that same episode, I think, how do I get past things without drinking and smoking? You know what I'm saying?
You a beast, bro. You a beast, bro, because I'll go get a fifth in a minute.
Yeah, you know, it's
just sit there and ponder, bro.
But like, he got an answer to a solution, though. Like you said, prayer, and you know, he invested in reading the Quran. How many times you done read the Quran?
Several, bro.
Several times. So, and that's where I think about, if you really read the Bible, you know, the Bible is so many answers in there, you know, for different triggers in life that a lot of people ain't aware of because they never really took the time to invest and to read. And the word, like, you know, you got to form an agreement with God, and then you got to have an intimate relationship with him. And then after that, if you want to live, you know, a God lifestyle, you committing to something. And when you committing to that, that's creating that structure for you in three different ways. And a lot of us fail to get that because we're not embracing that. We're not actually taking that extra step. You know, that leap of faith is like, man, let me actually, you know, like we say, we read different books. We reading all these books, except this book. This is one book we ain't finished. You know, we started, skimmed through it, then we stopped. We always push it back off to the side. But I think
that comes from
my faith.
From some different things too, though.
Yeah.
To piggyback on that, not to cut you off while you're in the middle, but
for sure.
It's usually the leadership too that comes with the Bible. And what I mean by that is the people that are preaching, and it's, you know, the head preacher or the people that are surrounding you with the Bible and how they use it to either to manipulate instead of giving it to you real. And I think a lot of times too, to go off of that, we don't know what we're getting ourselves into. Especially when you're talking about the marriage, having kids. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of weight on the man.
That's what I'm saying. That's one thing he said too. Is like, it was easier for him because it was just himself. But then once he had everything else, that's where it come more challenging, because it's not just you anymore.
Right.
And one thing with the leadership, that's what I'm saying. You know, a lot of things are built on these consumer laws. That's why, like, everything can't be taught. You can't go to somebody to teach you to be taught, you know, because every teacher isn't the teacher. You're gonna have to find somebody that's gonna be away from the crowd, you know. The outcasts is the ones you're gonna get the most experience, the most knowledge, and the most understanding from. You know, that's right there. That's your samurai, your instructor, your Mr. Miyagi. And that's how I feel about things. That's why I was like, you know, I don't have to go to church, you know, in order to have this relationship. You know, I built this on my own. You know, my faith is built on how I feel, rather than somebody telling me how to feel. You know, because like the structure changed, man. And I mean, as our generation, we question a lot of things that used to get bypassed back in the day that they just accept. You tell them, oh, come and get this shot. You know, this is helped with smallpox and some measles and stuff. And like, okay. And you know, they was really running tests on people. Like, nah, I don't need that. You know, we stand firm on what we believe in, and we question everything. And that's what I'm saying. And sometimes that right there is, sometimes we over question things to the point that we
down this rabbit hole. Can't get out.
And that's why I used to tell people. I used to say, fear the unknown as if you've known already, because sometimes that used to drive people crazy. When people really started getting into the conspiracy of things, it used to drive them crazy. And they felt like they was dealing with, you know, demons and stuff like that, is because they was looking into so much dark stuff. You know, it started to consume their mind that they became paranoid to the world, you know. And isolation that's one thing the pastor talked about too. Isolation is really a dark space. You feel me?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know, you ain't meant to be alone.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You're supposed to have relations, you know, these journeys, you know, to bring you to the light versus, you know, being on the dark side of things. So let's say that. But
Well, my little 2 cents, real quick, man.
And it's a whole buck coming from Hardy, man.
Nah, I ain't gonna be too long.
You got the composition notebook and the cell
I'm just saying
phone.
it's 100 coming from Hardy, man.
No, I'm just saying in terms of the suicide thing, right? I've never had those thoughts before.
Yeah.
But I know if I was ever in that predicament, what would I need at that moment? You know what I mean? And I believe, when I come back to the purpose thing, I've identified what my purpose is, and I believe I'm living in that. So my why has been answered, but now it's like back to the suicide thing. It's like, what did I need? 'Cause I've been super depressed. I've had seasonal depression disorder, all that type of stuff. But I know in that moment, I needed somebody to reach out to me to check in on me. How are you doing? How was your day? How you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. I know I needed it at that moment, so I've become that person. It'll be random stuff. It'll be like, if you talk to somebody a month later, man, you crossed my mind the other day, blah, blah, blah. I was like, if you cross my mind, I'm hitting you up at that moment.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because I know that I have a great connection with God. I know when it's him talking to me with the Holy Spirit. So I'm like, okay, if Curtis was on my mind, I'm checking on him. Boom. And I'm going to establish that with you guys as well. Hopefully, we can build a relationship outside the podcast to where it's to the point where I'm checking on you all the time. You know what I mean? Because I believe is my purpose is to encourage and to inspire those who don't think they need it at that time. So that's my thing with that. If you're ever going through certain situations, know that I know he's going to check on me at least once a week. You know what I mean? If you down bad, come over to the crib, or we go to a little restaurant. I pay for lunch, whatever, just to make sure at the end of the day. Because going back to like Rudy Johnson, for example, play for the Bengals. You know what I mean? Passed away, all type of stuff, right? And Chad Johnson was talking about every time I talk to somebody, I'm telling you that I love you. You know what I mean? Because those 3 words can do a lot. You know what I mean? Because I know, in my belief, God is love. So they have 4 different types of love: unconditional love, brotherly love, family love, and romance. So I make sure we're gonna have this brotherly love all the time when you're around me. Feel me? Yeah. So that's that part, and then that's it.
man. Hey, man. Look, I thought you was about to drop some crazy gems at the end. I was like, all right, man.
Too much of the show.
I do want to say I agree with you though on if I felt like, because I never been there, but I was like, if I felt it, I know I need somebody to talk to.
You know what I mean?
Need a sound mind, somebody like, because if you calling people and they ain't answering, it ain't helping. You just getting weaker. You feel me in the moment.
And getting teed off too, man.
Yeah. So for sure.
Yeah.
How we on time, man? How we doing?
We about an hour and a half in. If y'all want to go ahead and close it up, you know what I'm saying? Hour and 20 minutes.
Everybody
so,
shut up.
Yeah.
That's good conversation.
That was
time.
a real good conversation, man.
Yeah, I would just say, man, we've talked about purpose. We've talked about identity. I hope we could get to a point where we can all kind of put our 2 cents in as the truth of God, you know what I'm saying? Because I know sometimes it's an uncomfortable conversation for people because it kind of comes off as you're saying, like, I'm right and you're wrong, you know what I'm saying? And I never want to approach that conversation in that manner. But I think it is an important conversation to have because most of our lives, we don't really ever question what we believe. You know what I'm saying? We just accept it and roll with it and build our lives around it. You know what I'm saying? And until you kind of hear some people had a conversation, you probably won't even, it's probably questions you probably never even thought to ask.
I think that with God, it's like us as races, so many races. So when it come to God, it's all these different images. When really, when you think about it, it all measure out the same. That it's one God. We all know it's a spiritual thing. Something higher that we can't physically see, but we interact with consciously, subconsciously. And people really, once you take away the images, when you take it, the images is the idols that people choose to use to worship, and then you really just know that it's the spirit, within us, subconsciously and stuff like that. It's like that's when we all be on a balanced out platform. How the cartoons used to have it, the devil on one shoulder, the angel on one. And I'm like, and that's what on the day to day, that's what you battle with. It's all mentally. It ain't something you feel like, in my heart, it starts with your mind, and the Bible say what he think is so is he. And, that's control the feelings of your heart. Like, you don't, you feel like, oh man, I think I love this person. I think I love this person. And then you start to feel it start to go over your body. So I feel like that's where it starts for us all, man. It's deeper than, the books and what we see, it's what we feel within, but.
Okay. Some three things, man, I want to close out with, bro. One, shout out to Burrs, a friend of mine. He's actually an Emmy Award winning videographer, ABC6. And he's always on, the news whenever there's a crime going on or a murder and all. He always posts on Facebook and always say checking on your people, make sure they're cool. So I'll leave it with that first message: checking on your people. For those who haven't talked to in a while, cousins, nieces, nephews, aunties, uncles, moms, dads, brothers, sisters. Check in on your people, because I don't want you guys to have any type of regret, because we all like, man, somebody passes away. Oh, I just talked to him last week, man. I just texted him and called him. Everything was cool. It's like, nah, just check in on your people. That's number one. Number two, check your circle. Check your circle of influence, your friends, your family, and see where they're standing, and kind of take a step back and say, okay, are they bringing anything positive to my life? Are they bringing negative things in my life? You know what I mean? So I need you guys to get uncomfortable and find different environments and avenues with other people in order to be more positive. Just check your circle of influence. And third but not least, man, check in on yourself. I need you guys to really look in the mirror and do an audit on your mindset. All right? So when you're looking in the mirror, sometimes the first thing you'll say is something negative about yourself. All right, so do an audit on your mind and start to say positive things. And I take the example of Muhammad Ali. Whenever he started his boxing, he was saying he was the greatest of all time before he even won the championship. And he believed that to the point where he is deemed to be the GOAT. And he was saying that before that he was. So if you're able to transition and change those negative thoughts, and you see yourself in the mirror to positive things, your life is going to change instantaneously.
Yes.
All right. So again, check in on your people, check your circle of influence, and also check yourself.
Manifestation, man. What you talking about? You speak positively in your life, it's going to start to enhance. You speak negative, it's going to enhance too. So it's all about manifestation, man. Speak life into yourself.
Yes, sir.
So,
what's up, Kirk?
I really ain't got nothing this time.
You ain't got no closing remarks,
no, man. I really don't, man. I just today, man, really been like the show was really an eye opener. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite episodes. Even though we ain't really get into a lot of stuff, but just the substance of the conversation, man, was really heavy, because us as men, the men that we want to be, we don't have a lot of role models to look up to or to try to figure it out. For us to even want to even be in this position and being a strong male, and to be able to handle the weight that comes with being a strong male, consciously and subconsciously, because a lot of things that happens to us in life, it's emotional things that we can't see, touch, none of that. It's just the fact of just knowing that you have this responsibility that weighs us down so much, and sometimes it's just so heavy, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just so heavy that you can't really explain to somebody like what you really going through, and it's just like, just to know the fact that I'm a dad is heavy. That I'm a husband.
You're a provider, bro. That's a lot of pressure, man.
Well, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you too.
Hey,
for sure. My God.
Always.
Hey, man, so,
proud of you, man.
I mean, bro, I'm just sitting here reflecting, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here reflecting on everything that just went on. So,
just the fact we are who we meant to be right now is powerful.
And I struggle with believing in God. I can't lie to you. I struggle with it a lot. It has been happening as I've been getting older.
But you struggle with it, but you do not fully not believe. You feel me?
Yeah,
that's
I
one
don't.
thing.
That's
your hope line. That's your hope line.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
I still got my hope. I always got my hope. But I'm a firm believer that God, whatever He put in me, and mixed it up in that bowl.
Man, just one day, go like you say, go outside, man, lay in that grass, man.
Oh yeah,
tell him, show you. Just tell him, show you, like God.
I have said some shit to God before, and He knocked the bread off the top of the refrigerator. I'm like, ain't nobody over that.
Just tell him, bro. Tell him to show you, man, because that's what happened. It was me being in the experience where he was like, my best friend was like, pray. You feel me? And I prayed, and God showed me you feel me, in a way without showing me. He showed me by making me weak, you know, taking on my energy, like, you know, like feeling like, and you know that ain't no way I should be feeling like this right now to where I'm laying in somebody's front yard, you feel me, when I'm supposed to be riding, you feel me, for my peoples.
Yeah. I
was like, phone's not working. Both lines, like, you know, that near.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, man, that was God. God, you feel me, like,
God is definitely real. I just wish I could hear when people be like, God told me this. Or is that little voice?
It's your own voice. That's why I said
your
subconscious.
Or their stomach. Or their stomach.
The feeling.
Yeah.
But it's when you hear yourself, you feel me? That's him. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, it's you. Like, you ever heard your own voice in your head?
Oh, yeah.
Boom. Like, that's him. And then, like, that gut feeling. When it's like, man, hell, you over there like that?
Yeah.
Like, you know, that gut.
That's how I knew, like, some stuff.
That's why a woman intuition. See, God isn't gender based. You feel me? That's what a lot of people fail to realize. It's not. Even though we say father, he, you know, it's not. It's one of those. It's not woman or man. Really, you feel me? And that's why, you know, some people, like, you know, they do the mother thing, you know, and it's like, you know, you gotta look at life like Mother Nature. They call it Mother Nature life. And when you think of a woman, you know, her womb is kind of reflecting, you know, Mother Nature in a sense, you feel me? How it can basically house life and stuff like that within her. And it's just, life is deep, man. It's deep. And like I say, you know, the universe, it's a universe out there. It's more black holes and Milky Ways and more galaxies than we even think of. Right. So you guys,
I'm working, man.
I think, just to make it quick, because I know we closing out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna give my opinion, but I just want to say I think that's why it's important we do have that conversation at some point. Because I think most people probably find themselves in your position, where it's not that you don't believe in God, you're just trying to map it out. Like, what is it? What is the truth? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a honest position to be in. I think even as religious people, we may find ourselves in that position sometimes, questioning our own beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be important to have that conversation at some point. You know what I'm saying?
And if you come to church with me, I ain't go. I don't go faithfully, but when I do go, you gonna feel it. You might, man. I might turn Kirk. You crying? You ain't like a big bear, bro. And it's gonna be because you gonna feel. You gonna whatever. It's gonna be
like a good cry though, bro.
Nah, it's a good cry, but it's the
like
word.
Cry, bro.
It's when you receiving that word, how it's resonating with your spirit. You feel me? Where it's like connecting. You like, man, you feel me?
The one pastor I have been connected with is Pastor Mike Jr. Man, he has not been missing. I've been sending him to. I don't know. Khalid watched some of those messages.
Yeah,
he be. Hey, bro.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of leave y'all with something, and we'll close out real quick. So what works for me, because in terms of my connection with God, right? Because like I said before, I know the difference between me hearing myself talk and when God is talking to me. You know what I mean? So the way I do it is it's something that's called the Acts prayer. It's basically just an order in order to hear from God how you should talk to Him. So the first thing is always going to be adoration, which is tell Him how much you love Him, right? That's adoration. Number two will be a confession, kind of just a forgiveness of sins, the way the Catholics go in confession. So kind of forgiveness of sins thing. Then after that, you're thanking God for His thankfulness, right? And then after that, the S is supplication. It's like, what are you asking me for? So if you are loving me, you're praising me, you're thanking me, you're asking for forgiveness, all before you ask me for something, I'm going to do that for you. Even if you're a human being or if you're God Himself. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying what works for me is in that order. When I need God to work in my favor and do stuff for me, I tell Him I love Him. I tell Him I thank for everything. I thank You for the lights in the house. I thank You for the $5 of gas I can put in the car. You know what I mean? So those small things, they add up, man. And I swear, when you are in certain situations, when you have those signs in the park, when you have certain people that come into your life and they change your life, I'm gonna thank God for that, because I couldn't do it.
The same. That's how I look at it. I feel like God is my source to all my resources.
Yeah.
And when I say that, like he said, that's exactly what I do. Like, you gotta do it without shame. You feel me? Like I say, I love God out loud. You feel me?
Absolutely.
And I'm like, dang, I don't hear people say that a lot. I'm like, when the last time you tell God you love Him? Like I say, I'm like, man, I'm looking at the sky like, I love You, God. You hear me walking down the road, like smiling, because it feel good, you know, and thanking Him and everything else. And I ask for forgiveness. Like, you know, that's one thing that me living how I was living, I was like, man, I always repent, because I feel like when you sin so much, you feel like, man, I'm gonna do it again. Like you stop asking for forgiveness because you are, guilt tripping yourself. But no, you still have to continue to repent. You feel me? Ask for forgiveness because He's gonna forgive you. It don't matter how many times you sin. It's you actually taking the time to ask for forgiveness and repent. Ask Him to show mercy for you. So that's what I continue to do. And when I say, one thing I've been telling people, ask God to magnify. What you want to magnify in your life, you feel me? Whether it's the love, whether it's, your family, whether it's your finances, whether it's else, like, I've been doing that because it's just something that came over me one day when I started saying it and I shared it, on social media and told people I was doing it. And then, like I said, next thing you know, it started happening, office space, you feel me, on North High Street, you feel me? Yeah. Freaking went to the roof thing, ended up winning, a billboard, you feel me? Like a couple billboards, like, one, and where I'm like, dang, like, I don't even want a billboard.
Right.
But I'm like, I want it, so then it's like, all right, boom, that's free. Then I'm like, then I got so much access to so much information for like different courses for like businesses that people start up. I'm like, all I'm gonna do is use that to pass to other people that's looking for something to do. Like, now I got these free courses. You want to be a medical carrier, start your own business, I got this for you. Oh, you want to get funding, get your funding. I'm like, I give you this. Got this game, like the billboards. I'm like, shoot, give them away because I'm like, it take a blessing to be a blessing.
That's
you feel
right,
me?
for sure.
And I'm like, you don't know how this can catapult and help somebody else that actually need it. Because I'm like, my business is word of mouth.
Yep.
So,
yeah. I would say, just closing out, bro, I was listening to a lecture the other day and they were talking about intentions, and they said that intentions are of two types: the intention of your heart, which should be in everything that you do, and then the intention that you set forth with in your actions, what you actually do with your limbs. If you intend to be a millionaire, it's not enough to just say in your mind, I want to be a millionaire. You got to set the intention in your heart and then actually put the work behind it. Yes, I think the difficult thing sometimes, and you might find yourself in this position when it comes to that conversation about God, is, we could set out all of these, list of things that people can do, but it's hard to build a relationship with somebody if you don't know exactly who it is that you're building that relationship with. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where I kind of found myself. So, like I said, bro, we'll get into it in future episodes, I'm sure, saying God willing. But, kind of knowing exactly who you're praying to, you know what I'm saying, is important. You know what I mean? But I think go back and listen to that step-by-step process that Art put out, because I agree with that, you know what I'm saying, what he said. So
OG Art,
listen,
man.
That's what.
And I picked up a notebook too, you know what I'm saying. I took a page out of Art's book, got me a notebook, man.
You gonna remember more.
Listen,
every episode I start saying, bro, that's a good ass idea. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta take a page out of his book, you know.
Let me check my Palm Pilot.
You know what I'm saying?
And then that's why I was like, when people was going up to the altar to get saved today, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to holler at the pastor, tell him, like, give him a journal to journey book. You feel me? When people get saved, because it's like they get on these journeys, to get saved, but then they end up back in the same cycle, lose themselves. Like, give them a journal that helps them. You feel me? Document, structure it, because that's the thing. That's why a lot of people can't, gain these relationships with God or something, because it's like the structure is not there, the order is not there.
But there's also no follow-up either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the main thing you need, because that Sunday is going to be super emotional, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as you get back on the street in your car 5 minutes later, it's all right going to hit you.
Like, if you ain't got your if you ain't got your pastor's number, then something wrong.
There's got to be follow-up with that. That's just outside the church as well. Like I mean, so as soon as we leave here, I'm gonna make sure we always sit the chat. We sending posts and stuff, but we actually want to type in with each other.
We gotta eat. Man.
You know what I mean? Break bread for sure.
I gotta come out of the crib to the barbecue, man.
I seen you doing them ribs.
Yes, sir.
Tell them, brother.
Yes, sir.
Walking through the garage, and I'm like, man.
Yes, sir. Captain Kirk on that grill, boy. Come treat yourself.
One day, if you don't invite me soon, I'm gonna just get the address. When I see him on social media grilling,
just pull up, bro.
I'm gonna
send the smoke signal.
I'm gonna pull up. Like, where the hell my grill go? I'm like,
it'd be so. Cause me and Art, man. Well, how long we know each other? About 2 years now. It's about a year and a half.
About a year and a half.
Man, we just always, me and Art just hit it off, bro.
Yeah.
And anytime I cook, I always just call Art for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm
like-
hungry.
Yeah.
Art just like it's like anytime I barbecue, I'm like, bro, I'm cooking this weekend.
That'd be dope, though.
I gotta put it in the group.
We do
but I'm
a,
so used to just
a
hitting
family
Art.
potluck, like family gathering.
I'm just so
all-
used to just hitting Art and just being like, bro, pull up.
Yeah.
Cause it's just out of nowhere. If I even think about cooking, before I even think about the menu, the first thing I do is, hey Art, cooking this weekend.
I'm there, nigga.
Then he be like, I'm there.
Say
I
yes.
think it's more of like an accountability thing. Cause if he tell me he coming, then
say
I
like-
gotta do it.
Yeah.
But bro, Khalid, come over, bro. Whatever, bro.
sure.
Y'all
I
can
think
come over.
we
Y'all
do
can put
that,
up. I
man.
don't allow a lot of
That's
people
how
in
we
the
gonna
crib.
build, bro.
I don't allow a lot of people in my crib because I just don't
You
fuck
like
with
me,
it. Yeah.
like me, like he came to my crib.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told him, bro, this is the first time I ever had family over to my crib. Bro. Swear to God, you hear me? Like ever. Like I only people
I
that
just-
moms,
Hey,
moms,
yeah.
sisters. But outside of that,
I'm weird
it's
about
the first
people
time.
now,
Like
bro, just being around the kids and just supposed to be Uncle such and such.
Yeah,
and it's like,
I don't play that neither.
Nah, bro,
Oh
we
yeah, I don't
cool,
play that.
bro.
Yeah,
Take
that's one
take his
reason
space.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because of the portrayal, I done seen it, within family.
Yeah, I get it. Hey, but look though, I gotta get out of here.
Shit.
I gotta get out of here.
We all gotta go.
I gotta eat, man.
Yeah, me too. I
Man,
ain't
you already know what it is, man. Follow, subscribe to the fold,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Definitely like, share, comment, man. And if y'all got any topics that y'all want us to discuss, you feel me? Or y'all want to get in the room with us, man, definitely hit us in the DM. We trying to get, we trying to build up, man.
We got 4 followers right now. 4 subscribers, man. We trying to
And that's better than none. So that shows us, man. We got some supporters out there. We want genuine people, man. So, man, lock
Instagram
in.
going up though.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So
That Instagram-
slowly but surely,
Fold, the fold,
we gonna get
man.
it together.
Yeah, really,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Listen, we might have to do a ride for something,
Yeah, we just gonna have to get some sponsorships, man.
Nah, for sure, man.
And then we forgot how to build this thing, but hey, that
Yes,
concludes
sir.
another episode of the
Another
Fold.
episode of the Fold, man. Appreciate y'all for listening.
Yes, sir.
Tap
Peace.
in with us. Peace.
Fold.